The business DNA discovery is a scientifically validated tool that reveals your unique behavior combinations, strengths, and keys to communication. By investing about 10 minutes into taking the discovery, you will get powerful insights into how you work and how you may need to flex to work better with others. With powerful language to describe your strengths, you will be able to better choose work and roles that align with who you are and allow you to succeed as your authentic self. Knowing yourself is a powerful first step to finding work you love, working better with others, leading, and managing differences between people.
It's amazing to me that this can be done in about 10 minutes. And that these reports are so clear and so easy to use. And so I am super excited to help introduce the newest of our consultant packages today. So with our consultant starter package, you get access to this great DNA discovery that powers all of our DNA packages, and you get access to 3 really powerful reports: a work talent report, the business DNA summary report, and the hiring report. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about what each of those are. The work talent report is this 1-page report that includes your unique style. So you can see there on the bottom left a quick graph of where your style is. It gives you a quick indication: faster paced or more careful, more results oriented or more relational. It gives you your top 2 behavioral traits, some communication keys about and what is an ideal environment for this employee. So in this case, providing a big picture and action plans and keep me informed of progress and logic and key points and allow me to do some analysis. So again, having this kind of language and saying, hey, this environment's not set up for me to succeed really well. What can I do to fit into the environment and flex to fit the environment? And what environment do I need to look for next so that I can really thrive? So in Chris's case, if I put him in an environment where he can see action plans and make decisions and see the bigger picture and do some analysis, that's going to be a great place for him. And then it also gives some key work talents that are blends of our behavioral strengths that show us where do we fall on the results relationship spectrum: daring, careful, abstract, concrete, systematic and flexible, and promoting and operating, to allow you to see what your behavioral strengths are, how strong they are, and so how easy is it for you to flex to do something else, and what kind of environments and would be most helpful to have you be a part of. In addition to this report, you also get the business DNA summary report. It also includes your unique style and your top 2 behavioral traits. It also includes an ultimate performance guide, giving you your top 5 performance strengths, your top 3 struggles, and your top 5 performance environment keys, along with work-life behavioral attitudes and a guide to how much flex you might have to do with other work styles. It has some great questions to ask and consider, that teammate compatibility, and helps you understand how do you make decisions on a scale from highly conservative to highly risk oriented. How do you make decisions, which can also be really helpful when you're talking to your teams and your leaders about how you make decision and how maybe other people on your team are seeing some of those decisions. So as a consultant, you can use this to really help people understand themselves, understand their workplace approaches, understand their behavioral talents, understand what kind of environments they thrive in, where they might see some performance struggles, how they maybe can connect to others by knowing themselves and knowing where they have behavioral differences with others. And lastly, we have the hiring report, which allows insights into some of the work talents of your team. So in this report, you get desired tasks, team roles, work environments, and work rewards. And what I found is that this is really great for helping people understand if they are looking to get promoted, is that promotion going to allow them to use and do some of their desired tasks and talents? As they're looking for a new role, Should they think about a lateral role or a moving up role based on the team roles that they might be good at? Or as they're looking for new work, what might be a good role for them to be in? As they're thinking about negotiating for a role, what are some rewards that they prioritize? And can they negotiate for some of those things that may or may not be tangible monetary rewards? If there's more, can they negotiate more opportunity to travel or more opportunity to shadow somebody or to benchmark their achievements? And is the environment that they're going to be working in one that will bring out the best of their strengths or one that will require them to shut down a bit? So really powerful reports, I think, for really helping people understand themselves, understand how to talk about and have some language about how to talk about what their strengths are and what kinds of environments and what kinds of communications they need to be at their best. And so as coaches and consultants, helping people really understand themselves gives you a grounding point to allow them to talk about their strengths and also to think about where these strengths may be getting in the way of connection with somebody else. Leon mentioned that the problem, many of the problems in business are communication problems. And so if I'm only communicating in a way that I prefer and that makes sense to me, I am missing out on at least 60% of the population is different from me. And so I'm missing out on making the adjustments I need to make in my communication style to connect with that other 60%. And so these reports really help you as a consultant to understand that and have a starting place to work with your clients to help them understand how to talk about their strengths, how to talk about what they need, and where to start flexing and changing to meet the needs of people that report to them or people that they report to. So Leon, I'm going to kick it back over to you.
All right, great. Thank you, Nikki. And great job sort of explaining the package. And one thing I wanted to, we did a soft launch with the new package about a month ago, so we wanted to test it out. So we have a testimonial here from gentleman Josh Sweeney, who's been working with us for a couple of years. He sort of moved into the package. It really sort of met the needs, but why business DNA consultants and coaches and trainers like us is, as Nikki was talking about, the practical ability to use a very common language. That's probably the number one reason. The powerful insights to be able to see those key differences between team members. And it's very cost effective. So there's a couple of testimonials here on this page. Wanted to at least spotlight it for everyone. And also one thing we wanted to make sure is if you have any questions, please put that in the question box. And we do have a section at the very end of the presentation where we'll ask questions or those that are made available to us. We'll answer those real time, and we'll certainly make ourselves available afterwards if you have questions as well. And you will get a copy of this recording because I know Nikki did go through each of the reports, and there's some technical language that you may want to look back at later to see. So with that, we'll move forward. Thank you, Nikki.
Great.
And this particular, so we want to do a business case. And so Nikki is going to walk us through sort of a coaching use case.
Thanks, Leon. So I just wanted to give you an example of how we've seen, in this case, a coach use the package to help their clients. So in this case, we have a career coach who's specializing in helping clients find work that they love. But the coach isn't really sure how to differentiate their service. And what they're seeing is that some of their clients were kind of dropping off after the first couple of sessions because they didn't feel like there was a real connection and a really clear way of working with that coach. So a common problem, I think, in coaching environments. And so the coach's challenge was to quickly provide value to those clients from a coach that they didn't know well. So within 1 or 2 sessions, really start to provide value in that coaching relationship. So they contacted us and were able to start with a package to help them really reveal these insights. And what they found was that they were able to match their process or build processes to match different client types so that they were able to connect with clients more quickly. So this coach adjusted their intake forms based on the client's insights, so they got higher participation on the intake process. And what I mean by that is, in some cases, they sent an intake form to be filled out to clients. In other cases, they had an intake call, and so they asked the questions aloud, and they recorded the answers to those questions from the client, so that the client wasn't forced to type anything or read through the intake form and read through the process. In this case, they were able to just have a conversation with the coach, and so the coach got the same intake information that they needed from each client that matched their process, but also were able to adjust and adapt based on the client's needs to either do a phone call intake or a send a form intake. In addition, working with a scientifically validated tool really increased the coach's confidence going into client meetings, because they really felt like they had a good understanding of who that client was and how to craft a program based on that client's style. And the clients also noticed a difference between when the coach was kind of asking and probing questions to try to learn who the client was, versus when they were able to say, okay, here, let's do a debrief on your report and make sure that we're both clear on what this says. And then here's my plan for us moving forward. So the coach was seen as much more of an expert. In addition, they got that more personalized agenda, and even personalized the words that they used. Sometimes with some clients, they said things like, how did you feel about this? With other clients, they would say, what did you think about this? And just that difference unlocks clients in a different way. If you talk to somebody who's a more results-oriented thinker and behaves in a more results-oriented way, and you ask them how they feel about something, they will often hesitate and pause, and they may even say, I don't feel anything about that, or I don't really know, or I don't have a feeling there. I can't answer that question. But if you ask them what do they think about it, they can immediately respond to you about what they thought. And so sometimes just those little bit of word choice differences can make a difference in strengthening your interview and your agenda with your clients. And then they also got a really clear understanding about the types of the work environments that their clients would thrive in, so that the coach was able to better prepare their clients for interviews, so that the client was doing as much interviewing as their prospective employers were doing, so that the client could ask better questions about what the opportunity was going to look like, what the work environment was going to look like, what kind of tools and activities were going to be available to the candidate, so that they knew that they were walking into an environment that would be a good match for them. So unlike the situation that I had, where I walked into a job where it wasn't a good fit for me, and I wasn't prepared to do the kind of flexing and do the kind of work that needed to be done for the role, this coach was able to see a huge difference in getting their clients prepared for interviews and getting their clients more confident about speaking about their strengths, knowing what they were looking for, finding job descriptions that would be a good match for them, and then also ask really great questions during their interview. And so this made their clients stand out, and it made them stand out as a coach, because they were able to do this preparation with confidence and with scientifically backed data. And their clients then were able to speak with more clarity and more confidence about what they wanted and get more of the job offers that they were looking for. And I'll pause for just a second and see if we've got any questions out there before I let Ryan move us into some super exciting news about some technology updates that are coming very soon. You can drop your question in the chat or raise your hand or in the Q&A box. And so while you're thinking about questions that you have, and we'll have time for questions after Ryan goes, I will turn over to Ryan.
Thanks, Nikki. So we want to talk a little bit about the questionnaire that drives the full experience of Business DNA. So to date, we've gone through just a few iterations of the questionnaire. Right now, we're about 10 minutes to complete the assessment. It's 46 questions long, and nobody has to retake it ever. So essentially, we're measuring natural behavior, which doesn't change over time. An individual only has to take this once in their career, and the results last a lifetime. The way that this works in our platform is there's a few different ways that you can invite your clients to complete the assessment. The easiest way in our recommendation is through the use of a feature we call the self-registration link. So there's a link that's specific to your business that you can add to your website or your email, and all of your clients or prospects can go to this link. So the one thing that we're really excited about this particular package that we put together, the starter package, is the price point of it. So typically, a lot of our competitors, they charge $100 per person that has to go through this assessment. So for a coach or consultant that's just starting off, just starting out with your practice, you might be hesitant to invite prospects or leads to the assessment because there's a $100 cost associated with each one. The beautiful thing about this particular package is it's $99 for the month, and that covers your complete book of business. So we're really excited about that from a pricing perspective, and we've gotten a lot of good feedback with that. So this is what the questionnaire looks like today, and Nikki will reveal what the questionnaire will be looking like soon, which we're very excited about. So I've been working with a UX development firm that we've hired to help us redesign and rethink what this questionnaire experience would look like. So we've been offering packages to coaches and consultants for many years now. This particular package is quite new just because it's you know, at that starter level. And what we've done is we've profiled and interviewed and looked at how users are using the system. And what we found is that coaches wanted some help to explain why business DNA is important, how it's completed, and also be able to show some results immediately on the screen to their clients. But what we've also found out from these coaches and consultants is that they wanted to customize the experience. And that's what we've really built here, is a cool configurable experience where the coaches can go in and modify some of these settings to make sure that the experience matches their particular business. So if you see here, on the left-hand side is the reports. All the reports are available on any device at any time and delivered through our platform. On the right is the dashboard screen of the new experience. So when somebody completes this process, they'll get access to their dashboard. There's several videos, insights that mirror the insights that are on the work talents report. And the coaches and consultants can actually configure these particular modules on this particular page. So they can choose which insights are delivered to their clients so that they can drive that experience. The goal of this really is to educate the clients on the information that the coach or consultant wants them to know before they meet in order to make sure that that first meeting is the most efficient. We also just recently launched some really cool new alerts that come out of our platform that send DNA insights to the coach and consultant's email as soon as the insights are completed, with some quick links to generate some reports and comparisons in the system. So if you guys have any questions on the technology and some of the stuff that we have planned, feel free to pop them into the Q&A box, and we'd be happy to answer your questions.
Great. Thanks, Ryan. And I think, Leon, I'll turn it back to you.
Okay, great. And thank you very much, Ryan. Great job. We're excited about all the new innovation that's coming along. And we have, to introduce the launch, we wanted to have a start your free trial. You can actually start that today or whenever you're ready. The 14-day trial actually is set on the website, where you actually go through a process where you go through and take the questionnaire first, and that actually you get your results, and then you can choose any of the 3 packages that are listed here. And we encourage you to start with the starter package and take that 14-day trial. With that, you get the 3 reports that Nikki mentioned. You get the co-branding opportunity where you can add your own logo, and all the features that Ryan covered today. So with that, and it is used for your book of business, so you're not limited to the number of reports that you can have per client. And so it's a pretty easy process. We did include in the chat the trial, so you can just click there and start that trial. And It does give you the 14-day trial. On the 15th day, if you choose to keep it, you'll be charged the $99, and then it's $99 on that same day each month. And the other thing I wanted to just stress is the ability to get started. It is actually quite easy to do that, as I mentioned, but the training aspect of it is quite easy as well. Nikki sort of did the outline of the reports. So we have self-directed training that you can go through. That's pretty easy. It's guided once you go through the buy process. And we always encourage you to use it with friends and family that you know pretty well. Once you do it, you learn this pretty quickly. But there are opportunities for training as well if you decide you want to do a little bit deeper training. It's probably one of the differentiators that we offer that others don't, is that it's just a quick start, and you can start that as early as today. Right, and if there's any questions on it, please put those in the chat box, and we'll be happy to cover those. Or if you prefer to have a one-on-one call with us, we can do that as well.
Thanks, Leon. And also just wanted to mention, so the new experience that Ryan went over with us will be available soon. It's not quite available today, but it is coming within the next several weeks. So you can be among the first to have that new experience when it's released in the next few weeks. But it's not, this is the early preview of that. We're not quite there yet, but it is coming soon and will be included in all of the consultant packages, that new experience. So just wanted to make sure that we were clear about that.
All right, thank you, Nikki. And I think we have some questions that have come in, but if there are other questions, we do encourage you to put those in the Q&A box. But I have a couple questions here that have come in. One is, probably this is more for Ryan, the feature, because this is maybe new for the individual, you showed sort of a dashboard experience, and that's probably different than some of the other assessment companies, because usually the report may be controlled by the consultant. And we are all about transparency, so we want the client to receive a report at the end of the process. But could you explain a little bit more, Ryan, about what they see after somebody completes the questionnaire, their experience, and what that means?
Yeah, good question. And we're happy if anybody wants to see some specific mock-ups or insights, just let us know and we can send you some after this call. Yeah, so as soon as the client completes the process, they immediately have the option to see a video describing their style. Their actual unique style is revealed. So we group individuals into 10 unique style groups to help them kind of identify people that are out there in the world that would have similar modes of working that they would. So we call those style groups. So that would be identified. We identify individuals 5 scores, which would appear as well on the work talents report, as well as strength, struggles, and performance environment keys. And then we have some additional insights that can be shown, such as like what careers or work environments that individuals would likely excel in. It all just depends on what the coach or consultant really wants to share with that person. And we're also adding more from our library onto those pages. So it's all going to be optional for the coaches so they can drive that experience. But essentially our goal and our vision is to make it super configurable. So DNA actually measures 200 different behavioral insights. We pretty much can predict virtually every human habit of an individual. So how they invest, work, live, and make decisions. So over time, we're going to be adding more and more insights to that dashboard, which would be an option.
Excellent. Thank you, Ryan. I think the next question is probably geared more for Nikki. I touched on the training, but the question is it, if I'm a little confused about sort of a report interpretation, do I have help? Could you explain that a little bit?
Sure. So, and I also see a question in the chat here. I'm not a consultant, but I lead a team. Do you have a per test cost or a one-time fee if you want to use the questionnaire for your team? I think the answer is going to be similar for both, so I just wanted to include that question as well. So we do have what we call the coach network, and that would allow you to have access to time with a coach in our coaches network. So you can have someone do a 30-minute debrief with you on the report. In addition to that, so we can pre-record that so that you can watch it yourself and then do the debrief with your client. We can get on the call with the client with you and do a debrief. So there's that way. And then you can also always ask us for help in there's the support center, and then there's also some self-guided training. And if you have questions, you can always get to us through our support team, and we can help you that way. But if you are not ready, if you're not interested in buying a package, but you'd like to have your team go through an assessment, we do have some options, again, on our coach network, that we can do some team events for you. So we could run everybody through, do individual debriefs with everybody, and then actually do a team report, which isn't included in our starter package, but is part of our regular consultant package and our consultant plus package. So we could provide that team report and a team debrief with you to actually walk through what all of the different players on your team, what their strengths and struggles are, where people might have conflict just on their behavioral traits, and things that you can do to get to that. So we can certainly put something together for you on that. If you go to the DNA behavior page and look for the coach network, you'll see that, and there you'll see some options. We're also always happy to answer your questions if you want to set up an appointment with Leon or Lisa to set up something customized for you. What I've found is that coaches and consultants tend to be able to understand pretty quickly these reports, and they have an easy time walking through these reports once they get a little bit of experience with it. And again, the online training really does provide a good bit of insight. We also have several other resources, community calls that we do. We actually have one coming up next week. You don't have to be a subscriber to be part of our community call. If you're interested in that, you can shoot us a note. There'll be a survey after this. If you fill out that survey and indicate that you want to be included in the invite for the community call, we're happy to have you on our community call. And Ryan just posted the link to the coach network there in the chat box, so you can click on that and it'll take you straight to the coach network. Thanks for doing that, Ryan. So hopefully that answers both of those questions, but if I haven't, please let us know, and we'll do a better job of answering your question.
Thank you, Nikki. That was great. I think there's one other question here, and it's, can I put a link on my website for this DNA behavior questionnaire?
You can.
And I'll let Ryan answer. Oh, you got that one, Nikki?
Yes. So you can, and what Ryan alluded to, and Ryan can probably speak a little bit more technically about it, but you will get your own unique link as part of this. When Ryan talked about a self-registration link, so you send this unique link out to get your clients to complete the assessment, you'll get your own unique link, and you can embed that link on your website so prospects and clients alike can take it. I have done that. And several others have, so that you can direct people to a page on your website, or just make that an invitation for people, or make that part of your intake process. So yes, you can absolutely embed a link on your website. You'll have a single unique link that will be your link for your clients. When they click on that link, they will go to a registration page, fill out their information, and then they get access to the assessment right away. And then you can choose which reports you want to have them see when they complete the assessment, and then they'll also get that new dashboard when that's available in a few weeks. Ryan, do you have anything to add?
Thank you, Nikki.
Yep. Yeah, just piggybacking on that. So we get some questions about how to, add it onto your website, or how do you add it onto the self-registration links onto the email signatures. We have a pretty robust support website that lists directly how to do all that, with step-by-step instructions. But we also have a support team that's happy to help with any of that stuff. So as you're setting up your account, all of our reports and screens can be co-branded for your business, and there's some customizations there. with email settings as well as the experience for the users, and our support team is happy to help with that. We have several different coaches and consultants that are using the self-registration links in unique ways. We have some that are using it on brochures. We have some people that have generated QR codes that they can hand out on a business card. There's a lot of different unique ways that people have used those in the past, so we're happy to kind of brainstorm those options with you as well.
Very good. I think that completes the questions. And unless anybody else has another question, just pop it into the Q&A box. And with that, I think we've covered the product launch for the starter package. So thank you, Nikki. Thank you, Ryan, for the wisdom and sort of the guidance. And I encourage everyone to enroll in the trial, just to try it. And if you need guidance on it, either Lisa or I can help you. And we will send out a copy of the recording along with the presentation tomorrow. But as Nikki mentioned, there will be a short survey sent right after this webinar. We take the feedback. We'd love to hear from you, sort of what you'd like to see in a future webinar or feature or product release, because we're always continuing to innovate. And with that, I think we are complete. So thank you, Nikki. Thank you, Ryan. And thank you, audience.
Thanks, everybody.